Riven mods are here. Lots of people seem to be a bit unhappy with them. Say they might maybe break the balance more rather than help it, and maybe we should just buff outdated, underused, underappreciated weapons instead of adding more RNG and adding Riven mods. I don't really have an opinion on that just yet, so I'm going to stay out of this discussion for now. However, one thing that has happened to me is I've always liked the Supra. I've really liked the Supra a lot, but let's be honest, it's not quite there yet. It's not necessarily the kind of weapon you take on a high-level sortie with you. It's no Soma. It's no Bolter Prime, and I've been shopping around a bit for a decent mod because the Riven mods I get always end up being total crap. So I bought a mod off of some guy for 200 platinum. So thanks again, whoever you are. And this thing is doing the job really well. First of all, you see the 93 extra puncture damage, which is a no-brainer on the Supra because it deals mostly puncture anyway. On top of that, it raises base damage by a decent 137%. It's far from the maximum you can get on a Riven mod, but it's decent enough. And here's something that might look a little confusing at first, and that's 100% extra crit damage. Now, as you might know, the Supra really isn't a crit weapon by default. It's got a lousy crit chance of 2.5% and doesn't have a very high crit multiplier. However, if you use this mod and add a vital sense, you get a 4.8 times crit multiplier. That's nearly quintuple damage on a critical hit. And if you score a headshot and that one crits, that gets multiplied by 2 again, so that's nearly 10 times the amount of damage on a critical headshot. And of course, the low crit chance is a bit shit on the weapon, but fortunately, I have a Smeeta Kavat, which does give you relatively reliably a crit buff, which raises your crit chance by a flat, I believe, 60% it was. And on top of that, this stacks nicely with, what is it? It's an Arcane? Put it on my Syandana, the Arcane Avenger, which gives you another 30% flat crit chance for 8 seconds when you get hit with a certain chance. So you can get critical hits fairly often, fairly reliably, and in doing so, this weapon crits for an insane amount of damage, especially if you do it on Chroma. Since I've modded Chroma for power strength, you can see that here, 244%, and he basically crits for over 100,000 damage on average, goes all the way up to 400, nearly 500,000 damage, and it peaks somewhere around over 750,000 damage. Now, I know there are sniper rifles, bows, plenty of weapons who crit much higher than that, but we're talking about a machine gun here. This thing fires 3 bullets all at the same time, make that 5 to 6 bullets if you add a split chamber, and this thing hurts like crazy. I've recorded a bit of footage, I'm going to show you that in a second, and I've just been playing a survival just for the heck of it, just to see how far I can take this, and I could have stayed for hours, for ages still, but at some point I just extracted because I just wanted to get that footage out there, and you can see me just melting heavy gunners and Exilus enemies and all the way up to level 80 and higher, and it just one-shotting them. It's absolutely insane. Now, I'm aware of the fact that obviously a huge factor here is the damage bonus from Fury that Chroma gets, and of course the Supra still has travel time in the projectiles and they spray all over the place. It's not a very accurate weapon, but if you get up close and personal, and if you don't mind the lack of accuracy too much, if you don't expect to be sniping something from across the entire tile set, you should still be fine. It might not be a Soma, it might not be a Bolter Prime, but it's getting pretty damn close, and I think you can really take this weapon to high level sorties now just fine. And yeah, from that point of view, I have to admit I'm actually pretty happy with Riven mods so far. So yeah, just enjoy the footage, I guess, and I'll leave it at that. Bye.
capsule. Another life support capsule is now available. Mission complete. Excellent work, Tenno.